or bridges or roads and railways. It's basically anything that can be destroyed in an action movie.
After all we have done, humans are hunting us. But I fear we are all targets now. It's human extinction.
The problem is though, when our infrastructure is not being destroyed by robots or saved by Hancock, it tends to be a little bit boring.
As you know, infrastructure is not a sexy or glamorous topic.
As much as I'd like to think otherwise, infrastructure is not sexy.
Infrastructure is not very sexy.
To be fair, that may just be true, because today there's so many graphic designers showing us the beauty of infrastructure in an unrealistic standard.
Unreal. This is extremely unreal, my friend.
Most people say infrastructure is boring, but is it? I mean, to me, arguably, it's pretty fascinating. Imagine how it contributes to the economy, even the way of lives. So today, let me talk about infrastructure and economies and how it contributes to our daily lives, and mainly focusing Malaysia.
Malaysia, a unique, multicultural, multi-ethnic and multilingual society with a diverse and ever-growing economy. For the most part, we say infrastructure has spearheaded the growth for almost 50 years, and it has helped Malaysia to maintain one of the best economic growth records in Asia.
Making the dream of Malaysia becoming a more economic developed country by 2020 quite vivid.
The transportation, communication and electrical system infrastructure boom in Malaysia is escalating the process of economic growth and development in the country. As a result, Malaysia will take a step further from a newly industrialized country to a more economical developed country by the year 2020. It is in the way local customers are able to move to international producers easily, meaning the market base has been made much more wider. The flow of money is higher from one pocket to the other. This, as a result, attracts investors, especially foreign investors. And foreign investors mean foreign currency, and foreign currency means economic growth.
In terms of logistics, transportation is one of the most important infrastructure kind of contributions that if you're a government, you want to have big government spending projects, infrastructure in transportation is actually very key. So the first thing you can think of is, well, trains, right? So that really helps you transport materials from one place to another. So it helps your industrial companies, Western Digital, WD, yeah. So if there weren't any trains or anything like that, then how do they get, their materials, and how do they get, or even how do they ship out? So a lot of going from, especially Malaysia, where it's kind of situated in the ocean, right? Like, how are you going to get these things anywhere? Well, they have to transport it to a port, a major port, and then they transport it to another country. So train infrastructure is really important in terms of buying and selling goods, like exporting and importing goods.
Furthermore, I say energy is the bloodline and oxygen of global economy.
It is a crucial input to nearly all of the goods and services of the modern world. We may ask ourselves, but how does the energy industry contribute to economic growth? Well, The energy industry contributes to economic growth in two ways. First, energy is an important sector of the economy that creates jobs and value by extracting, transforming, and distributing energy goods and services throughout the economy. Stable and reasonably priced energy supplies are central to maintaining and improving the living standards of billions of people in Malaysia. Without heat, light, and power, you cannot build or run the factories and cities that provide goods, jobs, and homes, nor enjoy the amenities that make life more comfortable and enjoyable. This energy lights our cities day and night. The energy industry is undoubtedly an engine of growth, as its products serve as inputs into nearly every good and service imaginable. Generation is one of the key factors of development in many countries. Since it became independent in 1957, Malaysia has been keen to develop its energy sector. The country's electricity generation capacity increased by 25% between 2005 and 2011, and the peak demand estimated today at 16,500 megawatts is expected to stand at 20,500 megawatts by 2020, according to utility TNB. The construction of Manjun 4, a 1,000 megawatt subcritical coal-fired power plant, will reduce government spending as fuel cost is minimized. Energy cost will be lower and affordable. Employment rate will rise as the industry supports millions of jobs directly and indirectly. As a fact, in a healthy society, business will definitely strive, and more investors will be attracted. Now it is clear that energy not only powers the city, but also it powers the economy. With this development, Malaysia will be able to rise its economy and become a more economic developed country by 2020.
So the importance of information and communication cannot be underestimated for the economic growth of countries around the world. Definitely not Malaysia. This year's ICT spending has topped over 12.3 billion United States dollars. These ICT-based solutions are now central to the growth of sectors such as manufacturing, mining, banking and finance, and tourism.
Malaysia's recent shift to the fiber optic network has enabled a faster and more efficient connectivity. We mean that more data transfer per second than ever. Essentially, fiber optic technology converts electrical signals that carry data into light, which are transferred via hair-thin glass cables. Fiber also supports simultaneous access to internet, voice, and television connections. This basis is providing world-class telecommunication and services.
To build, like, let's say, fiber cables and things like that, they're getting more reliable investment opportunities, because if people want to invest in their, their exchange, then you want to have reliable, feedback from all over the world.
By this, we see how ICT is the number one enabler, especially when you're talking about investors, international trade, or doing business worldwide. Most investors are looking for connectivity for their imports and exports, automated services, public services, banking services, things which are important for their growth. So with the friendly environment that Malaysia has created in terms of communication, more investors will rush in. They build their factories and establish businesses.
And this, as a result, will stimulate economic growth very rapidly. And Malaysia, by 2020, will acquire the title of being a more economic, developed country.